Latin Kings have a damn near secret history of having black members that goes back as far as the gang's inception, which was the surprising thing to me, because me being from the Bronx and also being in prison with Latin Kings, I never saw that. Even though I was friends with some of the Latin Kings, for the most part, they hardly even dealt with us. So I had to find someone who was an actual Latin King and was old enough to be able to clarify whether this was true or not. So I thought, who better than my boy Warpath from the On the Lockout show and channel on YouTube. This guy is a self-professed Latin King of 30 plus years and a stand-up guy who I've worked with on videos on my channel before. So with that being said, let's get to the bottom of it. I bring to you the black history of the Latin Kings they don't want you to know. The reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you is because I had a subscriber who hit me up on Instagram. He goes by the name of Crime City Worldwide. I don't know if you're familiar with this Instagram page or not, but this person actually referred for me to ask you about this. So he's familiar with your channel. And the brother basically said, and the brother is, I believe he's a Puerto Rican brother. And he said, you know, I see some of the videos that you've done in regards to the Latin Kings. He's like, but a lot of people don't talk about the involvement of black people within the history of the Latin Kings. And you know, I may have heard that in passing, but I never took the time to actually think about that, because me growing up, anytime I seen or heard anything Latin Kings, you know, it was just a bunch of tough Puerto Rican niggas. You know, I never seen black people with them. So what I wanted to do with this is I wanted to ask you, how far, as far as the history of Latin Kings, do you know as far as the involvement of black people? Was it a small thing? Was it a just in the beginning kind of thing? And also, just any other, you know, details you are comfortable giving for anyone who was ever wondering if this was really a thing.
Most of the time, the reasons why I sometimes don't talk about it on my channels or whatever is because I have, and it becomes like the comment section could become like a racial situation. Like, bro, like you got people feeling like you're lying. Like, first of all, why would I lie about a black brother being king? Mm-hmm. Like, I could care less if you was black and you was king or you was purple or whatever. I don't care. If you want to be in a gang, a nation or whatever, that's your business. So I wouldn't like forcefully make believe that there was black Latin Kings. In fact, I just got off the phone this morning with one of them that I've been around him for years, all my life. And sometimes I think about, I wonder like how they feel, like, because I do think about it from time to time. Not that I don't promote gangs, I don't promote violence, but I'm not far removed from it. So on the internet, I don't talk about it like, yo, I just came from outside with 20 black kings or whatever. You get it? Like, yeah. I may when I get mad and then I delete it, you know? So anyway, black's been around in kings for decades, my dude, for a long time. It was never a thing of Latin. First of all, whoever added the word Latin in there was always wrong. To me, Latin is a language that's extinct, like it's almost fading away. Mm-hmm. It's like one dude, I think, that's still teaching the Latin language. So to a lot of people, it was always kings. You feel me? When a lot of people have a different history on how the word Latin was added in there, whatever, but Jamaica, Haiti, all that is in the paperwork. You could Google this, so I'm not black and brown people. So yeah, they've been around for a minute, bro. So where I be at in New York, there's a whole tribe, and they all black. You feel me? There's nobody, I mean, I don't know that I know. I always see all the black ones together, and they rock beats. The only thing is this, that it's like a branch off when it comes to like the gang, and from the way I really understood it always, and again, you could Google this, it's called Black Knights.
Mm-hmm. And for the people who don't know who the Black Knights are, could you explain?
They like more or less like black Latin kings. You know what I'm saying? They like to me, from my understanding of it in all the years I've been involved, because you got another dude that may think he knows more and he wants to break it down in his way or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's on him. I'm telling you what I know. You know, I only was involved in that for almost years of my life, so I'm pretty sure I'm pretty accurate with what I'm talking about. I'm just being sarcastic a little bit, but with facts always. So, but then you got dudes that are just like, bro, I'm king, and it is what it is. You know, ain't no black knights, ain't no nothing. I'm king. You get it? Mm-hmm. I'm Latin king. So I was in the state penitentiary with a few of them like that. Now you got even Latinos that didn't know this at one time because they don't know their history, and that's bad when you don't break down history. And I'm gonna tell you a true story. I was in the prison and I'm doing a bid, right? And we're like in charge of the nation within that prison, like we hold in rank, right? We in mid-state. It's like a medium A. It's like a high medium. The closest, I think it's a medium A mid-state. Anyway, we in a medium, which is mid-state. A lot of people may or may not be familiar with mid-state. And the black brother comes to my house. He's in my crib, boom. He comes up to me one day and he goes, yo, War, I wanted to talk to you, man. I've been waiting to talk to you. And I'm like, well, holla at me, bitch. He's like, yo, bro, I'm king. So he's black, like an afro, black as black can be.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, bitch, why you didn't tell me nothing? You feel me? You really knew that blacks are allowed to be kings because I come from the street from being king. So I know this. You get it? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yo, why you didn't say nothing, bro? And he's like, because I just came from fifth scale. And the Latin kings over there jumped me. And I'm like, what you mean they jumped you? You know, I keep it that double. They jumped him because they thought he was capping. He was lying. You get it?
Yeah.
Like you an infiltrator. Like there's a war going on with blacks. And you talking about you king now. You trying to sneak up in here. So that's when the problem came. Like during the war, a lot of that was like, stop. Like, yo, don't bring none of them home, bro. Because the Bloods and all these other gangs are sending cats up in here to infiltrate kingism. But they really something else. You get it?
Okay, so you saying that when the Bloods began to rise and get their numbers up, that they kind of was starting to like try to play chess and get information and to use it against y'all, and dudes were not really king, not really down with the kings. They were actually Bloods, and they were hindering the progress.
The only way. Exactly, that's the only way they was able to grow. Other than that, they would have never grown. Because respectfully to everybody, that was back then, dudes had their foot on their neck, hard bodies. Like you wasn't coming in here, you blood, you out of here.
And that's public knowledge. That's public knowledge. So any nigga denying that happened at that time, you know.
Yeah, because anybody that came in that said they was blood, it wasn't that you looked at them like, you're black, you need to get out of here. It's that you was looked at as a thief. You can't be in this house where there's peace and you coming in here to steal, sneak thieves, and do all the grimy shit that Bloods do. That was point blank, period.
Yeah, makes sense. So basically you're saying that partly...
And people be lying because they scared. You've been locked up. Let's keep it a stack. When people go to jail, right now you go to jail anytime. People just don't like, I'm going to say the fact. I be around Bloods myself. I'm talking about back then. Mm-hmm. People need to understand that. When the Bloods started, COs didn't even like them, didn't want them nowhere because they were coming in on some, whatever you had, they wanted. Mm-hmm. Whether they had to take it from you, sneak thief it, whatever, and we wasn't with that. So the majority, I'm not saying Latinos weren't doing it, I'm saying it was the least person that was going to take your chain. And even up to today, go to the island, who you think is going to take your chain? It's not going to, 90%, it's not going to be a Batiane, it's not going to be a king, dude.
Hey, if niggas gonna be honest, then niggas know. You know what I'm saying? Niggas know what. Niggas know who's doing what. Niggas know who's doing what.
Facts. So that's just my thing, and I like talking to real dudes like you because you're black yourself, and you would say it like you just said, bro. If people are gonna be honest, we know who's doing what.
Yeah, it ain't about race with me. It's about, you know what I'm saying, honesty and integrity more than anything else. With that black, white, purple, orange.
That's why I F with you. And on the internet, we giving a misconception out like that those dudes that started Blood started a Malcolm X movement. And that's not the fact, my dude.
Anybody who believes that, I'll laugh in their face, man. We all know that, you know. We all know that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of gangs start due to negativity or, you know, they had to unite together because there was a bigger force against them. Most of the time, it don't be because of no Malcolm X type of shit. The only time it was some Malcolm X type of shit going on was when Malcolm X was Malcolm X.
Fact. But you get what I'm saying? They're coming on the internet and talking about like they started the most positive movement in the world against oppression with Latinos, and it's a beautiful thing. And like, come join us, my dude. When that started, that was the most biggest destruction that happened to America, my guy. Let's keep it.